I'm going to read tonight from a book that's called I Could Read the Sky, and it's by Timothy O'Grady and Steve Pike. It's actually a book of photographs of Ireland and text, and the preface is by the marvelous English writer, art critic, John Berger, and he says, "I dare not go deeply into this book, for if I did, I would stay with it forever, and I wouldn't return. And then I wouldn't be on this page as I am now, on this page before the book begins. Sure, every book, like every blackbird, is different. And sure, when you read here, you hear a chorus behind the talking voice. O'Sullivan and Behan, O'Casey and Singh, Joyce and Jack Yates, with the hooves of the horses drumming, Beckett and O'Flaherty, they are all here in the dark, protecting with their art the new voice, saving it from oblivion just as they kept it company when it was alone and wandering." But actually, it isn't a new voice, it's the old voice, and it's the voice that inspired the great Irish writers. It's the voice of the people on the land, many of whom, of course, have had to leave and emigrate, go across the water. And I'm going to read you 3 little excerpts. One is called What I Could Do. The voice is essentially the voice of an Irish farmer who's had to leave the land and go to England in order to make a living, to pay off the farm, as my grandparents left Ireland to come to the United. My grandmother came as a maid for J.P. Morgan, and that's how the farm got paid off. So this, of course, is a later time. But I wanted to read you the first little excerpt. The book is called I Could Read the Sky, and this excerpt is called What I Could Do. What I could do. I could mend nets, thatch a roof, build stairs, make a basket from reeds, splint the leg of a cow, cut turf, build a wall, go 3 rounds with Joe in the ring Da put up in the barn. I could dance sets, read the sky, make a barrel for mackerel, mend roads, make a boat, stuff a saddle, put a wheel on a cart, strike a deal, make a field, work the swarth turner, the float, and the thresher. I could read the sea, shoot straight, make a shoe, shear sheep, remember poems, set potatoes, plow and harrow, read the wind, accordion. I also wanted to read in deference to the gentleman who read us the opinion of Irish women.
Oh, that's King Cormac. King Cormac, 2,000 years ago.
Just to show you there's been progress, I wanted you to hear what he said. This chapter is called The Way Maggie Was. She could place a hat on her head at the perfect angle. She knew the names of trees. She could follow a tune or a notion or a story and see sense where others couldn't. She could weave. She could drink and never falter. She could mend wounds. She could speak so that it sounded like her voice was inside you. She could make a dress. She had knowledge of cities in Spain. She could win at any card game involving memory. She could fill an emptiness even when silent. She could swim great distances. I remember the way she placed a handkerchief to her lips. I remember the way she held vegetables when cutting them, the way her hands moved, the fine bones and long fingers, everything. She had a way when something amused her of moving her lips one way and her eye another. She was quick with some. She took me to the museum. to see the colored birds of the Pacific. The sun could be hard on her, but only on her face. It made her look bothered and embarrassed. She couldn't stop her feet when she heard a tune. When sick, she did not complain. When I asked her about the way she pushed up the two sides of her long red hair and let it fall so that it covered her left eye, she held my hand very lightly and told me that the eye that was hidden was made of glass. What was she like? She was not like an animal or a color. She was not like the sky or weather or a kind of food or stone. She was like a forest. Things unknown to her lived and changed inside. The light never stopped moving. The age of the forest and its new growth, she could enclose you, her silence. The wind could not touch you. She was a woman. There was no part of her that was less. Her step when turning a corner, her voice when close to you, her rings, her touch, her look when waking. I try to bring her here. Her rosary is here, her dress with the bluebells, the photographs. Her leg narrows in a long line from the knee. Her skin is the temperature of new bread. It glows a little like polished wood around her shoulders from her time in the sun. If she lifts her shoulders when explaining something, the bones in her neck make hollows. The skin has a smell of sun, of the bed, and of lavender. Her laughter comes not from her throat, but from within her center. I see the sweep of her lines, the patterns in her skin, her movements. I follow them. I am enclosed within her. Then I cannot help see myself. I see the sunlit street with the high plane trees, with their bark the color of ash, the motorcyclist roaring past, the dog moving out ahead of me. Maggie is in a crowd coming towards me. I see this again and again and again. She puts one hand on the top of her hat and waves with the other. The hand stalls, then drops. Maggie has died. But extraordinary powers of observation, extraordinary language, and these are the unlettered of Ireland. I read you what I could do, and before I sit down, I want to read you what I couldn't do. What I couldn't do. Eat a meal lacking potatoes. Trust banks. Wear a watch. Ask a woman to go for a walk. Work with drains or objects smaller than a nail. Drive a motor car. Eat tomatoes. Remember the routes of buses. Wear a color in comfort. Win at cards. Acknowledge the Queen. Abide loud voices. Perform the manners of greeting and leaving. Save money. Take pleasure in work carried out in a factory. Drink coffee. Look into a wound. Follow cricket. Understand the speech of a man from West Kerry. Wear shoes or boots made from rubber. Best PJ in an argument. Speak with men wearing collars. Stay afloat in water. Understand their jokes. Face the dentist. Kill a Sunday. Stop remembering.